everybody. It is Christmas morning 2024. How's everybody doing? This year is the second year without my dad at Christmas time. And arguably probably a little bit harder than the first one. You've heard me talk about him more in the last month than I usually do because, normally he'll come up here and there when I have different memories of different things. But around this time of year, I think about him a lot because he particularly loved Christmas. Hi, Charicity. One of my earliest, if not my earliest memory of Christmas, we actually have on camera. And it was this family Christmas where my parents, my grandparents, and my cousins, my cousin's parents, and a few friends were together for Christmas. I think it was, I want to say 1991 or 92, one of those 2 years. I can't remember exactly which one. But he was on video that year. My grandpa recorded it, and my dad was Santa. He threw on a robe. He didn't have on a Santa suit. He threw on a bathrobe. And he was like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And he was handing out everybody's gifts. And there was this one part I was like, that's not Santa, that's my daddy. And it's funny because somebody asked me the other day, how old were you when you realized that Santa wasn't real? And I was like, I never thought Santa was real. Now when I was 2, now when I was 3, 4, 5, they tried to tell me Santa was real, the Tooth Fairy. I don't think they tried the Easter Bunny just because, I don't know. But I never in my life believed Santa was real. I'd have to literally see Santa in his sleigh and the reindeer, and I'd have to see them flying around. Or he would have to come down my chimney. That's not by design. I have just been that person. The other day, I'm the same person today in a sense that I was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I mean, I've evolved in some ways too, but yeah, I'm not somebody who's changed a whole lot in terms of my core. At my core, I'm still the same. As a kid, I was saying things that adults couldn't believe that I would say, or I would know things that they couldn't believe that I would know, because I'm not supposed to understand those things at those little ages. You're a kid. Where did that come from? I don't know. I don't know. So I never believed in Santa. Never believed in the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny. And it's not because they told me there's no Tooth Fairy, Santa, Easter Bunny, or whatever. I just never believed that it was true. Christmas is definitely a big time of year for my family too. We weren't allowed to believe in Santa, but we still played Santa. The thing was for him too is that I can remember anything that we went to on Christmas, whether it was like a family thing that we did, or whether it was something that we went to. Like sometimes we would go to other people's houses and potluck, stuff like that. We would do, I don't know what you would call it, the Christmas version of Friendsgiving, where we had friends. I remember particularly when I was like between the ages of maybe 7 through 12 or so, we had a family we had some friends that would do a really extravagant Christmas Day gathering that we would have. It was my dad and a lot of his co-workers at this one person's house. Their house was really nice, and all the adults would gather at the table, and the kids, we would get to go in the basement and play video games and watch TV. It was pretty cool because we didn't have the obligations of just having to sit around like sometimes kids have to do during these times when adults get together. Yeah, those times were really nice. But what I was going to say about those times is anyone who knew my dad during those times, he was always the center of attention. When you see me take videos of things that happen with me at events where I am the center of attention, it's not because I just walked in there and became the center of attention. It's because I did some kind of meticulous planning, and I knew whatever I did would probably lead me there, and I was just prepared to own the moment. Whereas he would walk in the room empty-handed, no props. It's like no, he wasn't Carl. He wasn't. There's nothing he brought or did specifically. It's just that he was so social that he would just charge up. The way how my social battery goes down when I do things like that, where I go out and I pop out and then I come back home and I'm like, oh, I'm tired of people right now. I have to sit in my house for like 2 weeks to recharge. He was opposite. It's like I charge up when I'm out in these gatherings, and I lose energy when I'm sitting in the house, not having those interactions with people. So he was such a big character and like a popular person on Earth. So as the Christmas season comes, it's so quiet without him. Very, very quiet. And it wasn't like that because he was around. We would be doing something. We'd be going somewhere. We'd be going to some kind of function. In recent years, we wouldn't really be doing too much in the house, but he would be invited somewhere. So we'd be going to somebody's function and showing up, and I'd be laughing at his jokes because he always had all these different jokes. That was his favorite thing. They were dad jokes. They were corny jokes, but people loved them. People asked for them, so they were funny enough. I don't know where it left off. But anyways, I'm gonna skip that part. Something else I was thinking of, but I can't remember anymore. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I get what I was saying. I guess I don't know how when it stopped playing sound, but I was mentioning how he was so jovial and funny outside of my house. Inside of the house, he was very, very strict. But he was one of the parents who used to volunteer for all of the field day trips, and he would come and pick up the kids, and everyone wanted to ride in our car because he was the cool dad and he was the funny one. And I was like, man, if he was like this, if only he was like this in the house. But I guess the way someone raises you has nothing to do with overall how they're like in public settings, you know, like that. And let's see, last Christmas we were at my grandma's, which, by the way, I need to call her. I mentioned this story when I was at her birthday function last month, that I spoke to my grandmother on December 24th, either the 23rd or the 24th. I can't remember now, but 1 or 2 days before Christmas, in 2019, and she was just like, "I'll speak to you again on Christmas Day." And I said, "Okay, Grandma, I love you. I'll speak to you Christmas Day." And I have spoken to my grandma, aside from when I lived with her when I was little, every year that I have not lived with her, which was from like age 4 and on, from 4 to age, I think I was 32 at that time. That's a 28-year span. We spoke every year on Christmas Day. And it was something that I took for granted. Just basically, you know, death, taxes, and speaking to grandma on Christmas Day. So I'm expecting to speak to her. We had a busy Christmas Day. Well, not for great reasons, unfortunately, because we had a lot going on in my house, which I will continue in a minute, because as y'all know, when I step out into the store, I don't like to finish these stories until I'm in the privacy of my vehicle. So give me a moment. Hi. Card.
Back.
Yes, please. Thank you. we're back. So in 2019, like I said, November. I remember November of 2019 so clearly, unfortunately. July of 2019, we had our last. And, like, you never know when those family gatherings are going to be the last time. My dad had a meeting. He was walking outside. Fortunately, he was close to home, and he actually happened to be next to a fire station. He fell down because due to the mini stroke. We didn't know that's what it was at the time. I wasn't home. My mom called me to see if I could get him. I wasn't home. I was working. I wasn't close enough nearby where I could just go help him. But because of him being by the fire station, the fire department was able to assist and get him an ambulance and then get him to the hospital. So that's where he stayed in the hospital for about 3 weeks or so. And I remember every time I would go in there to visit him, he was just like, "Are you going to take me home now? Are you going to take me home?" And I felt so bad because he wanted to leave. And he couldn't leave because they were doing a whole battery of tests to try to figure out what was wrong with him. And I mean, they determined, his condition was vascular dementia. And they told us at that time that with his diagnosis, the average person lives for 3 to 5 years. And I remember that was such a hard thing to hear when you get like a definitive number of years that somebody is going to live the remainder of their life. So it's hard to even grasp something like that because I kept thinking about that hourglass every year. And he's true to what they said. They said 3 to 5, and he lived about, let me see, 20, 21, 22, 23, maybe about 3.5 years of that 3 to 5 that they told us. But anyways, I remember when I was talking to my grandma, she was helping me through that. She was telling me different things about life, and she was telling me different things about how to handle things like that, and mentally, emotionally, she was there. She was like a rock helping me through those times. And then, like I said, I spoke to her on the 23rd of the 24th of that year. He had just gotten out of the hospital a week or two before Christmas. And then 25th came, and I call her. Usually she calls me, actually, because she lives on the phone, from the time that she became a little bit more immobile and having a harder time moving around, and she was traveling a lot less at the time. So the phone was her lifeline and her connection to everybody, her family and her friends. So, but we were busy that Christmas, so I forgot. I can't say that's happened many times, but maybe it's just because I'm so used to her being the one to call me. So, in the back of my mind, it's like she's gonna call me eventually, and she didn't call. So the day came and went, and I didn't talk to my grandma, which was the first time that has happened in, well, my entire life, like I said. And then I was like, I thought about it, but I was like, grandma's probably busy. It's probably not that big of a deal. I assumed, which was a bad assumption. And then 2 days went by. And anyone who knows my grandma, I called my grandma the 26th. She didn't pick up the phone. I called her again the 27th. She also didn't pick up the phone. And she didn't call me back. And when I say anyone who knows my grandma, if you call her 2 consecutive days and leave messages for her to call back, and she does not call you back, then I was alarmed and concerned. So when I finally got in touch with my aunt who lives with her, my aunt was like, yeah, the 25th, she was in the hospital. And they determined that she had a stroke. Now, when I had spoken to her before, she was in the hospital. She had gone to the hospital because of that same stroke. And they told her it wasn't a stroke. They told her that I'm dying. But she was pretty much like, if you don't get over here within the next week or so, you might not get a chance to see me. She's like, I'm calling all the family. And I spoke to my aunt, and I spoke to some other people, and they basically told me that she said something similar to them. And so I was like, all right. At the time, I was actually working a part-time job where I didn't get time off from the job. And then I just got up and flew over to Canada. I sacrificed that money that I was going to be getting. And I went to go see her in her rehab facility. And long story short about that, because I've told that story many times, 5 years later, she's still here. And I plan to call her, not at this absurd hour. I am very close with my grandmother. So when I call her and I know that she's good, the rest of my day is good from there, because at 90 years old, because now she's officially 90 as of December 18, you have to appreciate each day. Even though I already appreciated each day, I appreciate each day that I have her even more now at, 90 plus, because a lot of people don't have grandmothers that live to see that type of age. And my grandmother on my dad's side did not even live to see 80. My dad was gone at 71. My grandfather's my maternal grandfather and grandmother both lived long lives. I mean, my grandfather was 87 when he passed. My grandmother has now surpassed him. by 3 years. Um, yeah, so that's one of my biggest blessings. Even though I don't have my dad, I still have my mom, and who is in pretty good health, and my grandmother, who is also in good health for somebody of that age. But in terms of Christmas, I do have some nice Christmas memories. I can say that. I can't say that I have felt that way about Christmas in years, but at least I do have memories of Christmas past where I was happy and I was joyful and really into the season. Now I feel more like I just get through it the best that I can. The greatest thing that I can say about the day is that I get the day off of work. That makes me happy. But aside from that, I just get through the day the best that I can. And I don't really got much more to say than that, but I do want to say, when it comes to my channel, I'm thankful for my YouTube page, for this platform. I've said this before, but it was unexpected for me to have a YouTube platform that people follow. It was very unexpected because I was grinding at this YouTube thing for a number of years. My YouTube page, when it was at its most successful, was back when YouTube was the wild, wild west. What I mean by that is that there was a point in time where YouTube did not have any requirements for the things that you put up. There was no YouTube partnership program where they took like 60, 70% of the money that you earn from these ads. And you could just put up anything. And I would put up, when I saw something viral happening on TV, I would basically just record that, throw it on YouTube, and I would make money from it. And you made more money than you do from the YouTube partnership program, and there was no copyright thing where, make sure to turn this light off so my car doesn't run off again. They take down your videos, demonetize or whatever. So because of Big Brother, which was a show that I didn't even like until 2020, that's how I developed a platform. And the platform is something that has helped me develop my confidence when it comes to getting online and speaking like this. When I spoke to Alyssa Lopez, when I did my interview of Alyssa Lopez from season 23 of Big Brother, she was talking to me about how going on Big Brother helped her to cure, or I don't know if she said cure, but remedy, however she said it. It helped her with her social anxiety going on Big Brother, where she was extremely nervous to do, public speaking and stuff like that. And just to be out there in public. I mean, anyone who knows anything about social anxiety might know what I'm talking about. But that's kind of what happened to me with doing this, because I felt terrified to get on a computer or a phone. Like I use my phone more than my computer at this point. And just get on here and talk to complete strangers. But if I didn't say Merry Christmas, Ed, Merry Christmas to you also. But yeah, I've done how much, I can't even count how many lives I've done over the last 3 years. It's been a lot. So at this point, getting on here and doing this doesn't make me nervous or worried at all, because really I used to be thinking, am I getting my points across? Do they make sense? Do they sound stupid? Listen, at this point, I'm on here. If I happen to get on here and I had something in mind and I was trying to make a point and I got on here and the point did not come across the way that it was supposed to come across, I'll find out because people will put what they think of what I'm saying in the comments. And you know what can happen if my point didn't come across the way I wanted it to? Live to see another day, and I could just make another video follow-up explaining, hey, this is what I said, this is how y'all took it, and this is what I actually meant by that. And if worse comes to worse, if I'm still not understood after that, it is what it is, man. This is just a platform of expression, so it's nothing to really be concerned about. It's nothing to really be worried about. And also, the fact that I've had this page is the reason why you see me do things like Carl, why you see me go to events and figure out things that I can do you know, just to have fun, to get some good footage, to make an impression. Those things are for my page, not just for fun. Because, I don't know, can I say that I would be doing those same things if I was just attending to be a fan? Perhaps at this point, well, the props, definitely not. I definitely wouldn't be doing the props, because if I was just going as a fan, I would just show up, like whatever happens, happens. I'm just here to have a good time. But I guess I would never be able to just show up as just a fan again. Maybe if I was in another city. Hi, Holly. Maybe if I was in another city where they didn't know me, then I could just show up and blend in the background or whatever. But any of these New York events, I've been to so many of them that it's not like I walk in and people don't know me. So I can't really blend like that, because they literally are like, hey, Mark, it's nice to see you at this point. Merry Christmas also. Merry Christmas also to you, Holly. You came at the tail end of this, but better late than never, I always say. Better late than never. I always think of those, well, it's this one Lil Wayne song where he's like, better late than never, but never late is better, but nobody is never late. So thank you for being here. I was thanking my YouTube group. That's the part that you walked in on. Just for the support and for the platform to express myself. And the other thing is, it's been 4 years since I had a therapist. So in some senses and in some ways, I feel like being able to jump on here and express my thoughts is kind of like a form of therapy for me. So thank you once again. It's possible that I'll be back, probably more so towards the evening, if anything, because I will be having some family time during the day, I'm sure. But towards the evening, maybe I might hop back on here. So In the meantime, Merry Christmas to the Mindful Reality family. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure to enjoy your time, your day with your loved ones if you are spending the time with loved ones, or just enjoy it, period, whether you are or not with your loved ones. Oh, I forgot something in the car. So you get a bonus. 5 minutes that it's going to take me to walk around to my car. Oh, and by the way, there's a space that I could have parked that I didn't see before. But I don't feel like moving my car, so I'm going to run to the car. I need to refresh that stuff. I need to refresh my, what's it called? Those things that you just posted, Vicky. Also, I don't know why these sweatshirts are only showing the back of the sweatshirt. But I have to fix that up too. But I have my music and mental health sweatshirts. I finally built up enough of whatever it was required for me to attach my Teespring to the live. Emojis, yeah. This week has been a week. Christmas on a Wednesday, I can't lie to you, it's terrible to me. The reason it's terrible to me is because I have to work on Thursday and Friday. Some jobs, like my last job even, they had Friday off. I mean, Christmas was on Thursday, and then they had Friday off. But regardless, whatever day Christmas fell on, the day after Christmas was always an off day. So this place is like you only get the actual day. Like over there, I think we got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and oh no, we didn't get the day after Christmas. I'm lying. We just got Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I think the day after Christmas, we got like a early dismissal where we would work like 9 to 12 or something like that. And then we get off, but ain't nobody really working. But here, I worked up to like 5 or 6 on Tuesday. And I have an appointment. My first appointment for after the day after Christmas is like 8:30. When I say appointment, I mean home visit, where I have to go to somebody's house and see them and help them. Social Security application, actually, and that means I have to get myself up and out my house probably before 8 o'clock in the morning, and I am not any morning person. Oh, you don't get the day after or before either? Yeah, I don't like that. I know that my colleagues use their PTO. Some of them use their PTO to be off the couple of days after Christmas, but I'm like, I'm not using my PTO for that, especially at this job where we have like a PTO rollover. My last job was like use it or lose it. If you don't use it during the year, you lose it. And going into the next year. But at this job, you can store those hours. So I think I have about a week and a half saved up. that's going to carry over into next year. So that means if I so choose, I already have a bank started out. Because when I started out this job, the bank builds very slow when it comes to the amount of hours that we earn for this slave labor, as I consider it. All right, y'all. Like I said a few minutes ago, I hope everybody has an amazing Christmas holiday. Good family time, good food, whatever that means for you. And we'll talk again soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when your boy drops some more amazing content. Thank y'all.